In today's lesson, we're going to be exploring more bow techniques. At the moment, I realise there's quite a lot of theory, it's quite slow paced, but that's very normal with the violin. It's really important that we get these things right. So we're going to spend a little bit of time going over some more bowing before we introduce the fingers and the actual music. So violin up onto the shoulder and the bow back in position, remembering to keep the cross. You don't want your bow to be sliding all around up and hit down here. So we're going to do some more practice of the open strings, that means no fingers on them yet, making sure the bow is staying in a straight line. What I want you to do is what I like to call musical sentences. So you can think of any sentence in your head, but I'm going to start with nice cup of tea, which is going to help us do the long bows. So we're going to think, maybe start on the G, so elbow up, nice cup of tea. And on the D string, the same thing, nice cup of tea. So it's quite hard to keep the violin bow steady and straight when you do the long notes. You'll probably find that you'll go nice cup of tea to start with, and that's normal. Just keep practicing, you will get it. And on to the A string, remembering the elbows adjusting. Nice cup of tea. And the E string, as long as possible and as straight as possible. You don't want to go right up to the end. We tend to not use the top bit and the very bottom bit of the bow. Nice cup of tea. Okay, once you've mastered that, we're going to try some shorter, faster bows. So we're going to try the next sentence. The next sentence will be Coca-Cola. So we're doing short little bows together, and again we're going to do it on each string. So we're going to start on the G string, Coca-Cola, onto the D, Coca-Cola, and the A, Coca-Cola, and finally the E. Now they're going to be short little bows, and once you've mastered the same string for each note, I want you to try using two strings. So we're going to do Coca-Cola over the G and the D. Coca-Cola. So that was G, G, D, D. Coca-Cola. Being careful to play just the one string that you want. Sometimes you'll find you're doing it and you'll catch another string, so you might go Oh, we don't want that at this stage, we just want the one string. So really focus on where the bow is and what it's doing. And the same between the D and the A. Coca-Cola. That was D, D, A. Tiny little amounts of bow I'm using, and on the A and the E. Coca-Cola. And really you can think of absolutely any sentence you want which will help you practice the varying lengths of the bows, the different rhythms. For example, I could say, if I really wanted to, my favourite book is Harry Potter, in which case I'd go, my favourite book is Harry Potter. Anything you want, just to keep practicing the bowing and keep it interesting for yourself as well. I don't know, maybe ask a family member, what do they like to have for their pudding? Maybe they like creme brulee. I like creme brulee. The next sentence we're going to be doing is fish and chips for tea. And what I want you to do with this one is get the balance right between the two strings. So it's a longer sentence, more bows to get in there, and we're going to start it with the G and the D. Each word is going to be on the one string, going over to the next string. So we've got fish and chips for tea, a long T. And between the D and the A, fish and chips for tea. Now you'll find that the D and the A, the distance you have to move is much smaller than between, say, the G and the D. So G and the D, if you watch my elbow, fish and chips for tea. There's much more movement in my bowing arm and elbow, whereas between the D and the A, it's a very small little rock. Fish and chips for tea. And A and E is most significant. Fish and chips for tea. So please focus on what my elbow's doing. Fish and chips for tea. Long A at the end. Always keeping that bow really straight whilst you're doing that. Now this is something that's going to take a while to get a really nice sound, a straight, smooth bow out of it as well. So be patient with yourself. Don't rush this. I am cramming quite a lot into these videos because I want you to feel that you're really getting the most from them, but you don't have to be learning it at the same pace that I'm actually teaching it to you. Just take your time, get it, and then we can move on to the next bit. Once you're really confident that you've got the bowing, you're keeping your bow straight, you're getting a nice sound. Remember, don't put any pressure on it. If you add the pressure, you're going to get that horrible crunch which we don't need. Once you've got that, we'll be ready to move on to the next video where we'll be using our fingers. Thank you.